The She's Crafty podcast is sponsored by Barbacoa Apparel. Barbacoa Apparel is a San Antonio-based independent clothing line that caters to Texans and Texans at heart. To buy your Barbacoa Apparel and to find out which events they'll be at next, go to barbacoaapparel.com. The She's Crafty podcast is brought to you by Busted Sandal Brewing Company.
You can now find their 210 Ale and Slippery Rock IPA in cans throughout San Antonio, New Braunfels, and Austin.
Head over to BustedSandalBrewing.com/can locator to find a location today. You're listening to the She's Crafty podcast, a comedy and craft beer podcast taped in San Antonio, Texas, home of the Alamo, breakfast tacos, and the best craft beer in the Lone Star State.
Shut up and sit down.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the She's Crafty podcast. My name is Catherine Contreras and I'm your host. And I'm super excited because I'm here today with my special co-host. I was going to call you a
ghost. Go-host?
Yeah, a ghost. A ghost. Marco Ortega, producer of Brewed in the 210.
So, yes, I am producer. I'm also, not to toot my own horn, but director. Editor.
Because you made the whole fucking thing.
Yeah,
right?
I made the whole thing. Yeah.
Are you in it? Did you star in it?
I did not. You can hear my voice.
Okay.
One time because there was a part towards the end where everything was very last minute, so I had to go there, and so I had to mic people up, and,
right.
And then I had to ask a question. And usually I always try to edit that stuff out where you don't hear me, but
right.
I had to leave it in.
A little bit of it.
Yeah,
because you have a huge ego and you just wanted to hear a little bit of your voice in there. I get it. I get it. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
This is going to be a long show.
It's going to be a long hour. Marco, are you ready? We're also here with Todd Ewing from O'Dell
Hi.
Brewing.
Thanks for having me.
How are you?
I'm great.
Thanks for sitting at the table with us.
I'm really pleased to be here.
I'm excited to taste your beautiful beers.
I'm excited to have them be tasted
to have
by
me
you.
put them in my mouth. I know that
well,
happens
I wasn't
all
gonna
the
put
time.
it quite like that, but
so I was looking online last night and I saw that one of them, the Russian pirate, is that what it's called?
Well,
right?
yes and no.
It's yes and no. It's called that, or
So it's kind of complicated.
Okay.
It was called that.
Okay.
But now it's called the Jolly Russian.
The Jolly Russian?
Yes.
Because the pirates were offended that you were.
Well.
This is like a Native American thing.
I don't know if it was the pirates that were offended, but somebody was offended.
Really? Like somebody really was offended?
Well, I don't know about offended, but the name was too close to some other name, some other thing. So you've heard of the Jolly Roger?
Right.
Jolly Roger's
The Jolly
flag,
Roger, yeah. So it's still in the same spirit, but it's the
Okay.
Jolly Russian.
I got it.
Anyway, I apologize. What were
you
you
should,
reading
though.
about it?
I was just on your website, like checking out. But what I saw was that it has like a 13%.
13.3% alcohol.
Holy
Oh,
mother
yeah.
of God.
Yeah.
That's why I told you beforehand
Yeah.
I'm not drinking before we start because I know that I'm going to taste this other thing.
This is going to be fun. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you famously a lightweight?
I'm a self-declared lightweight. Yeah, it's like I
Alright, fair
can't.
enough.
Yeah, no, I can't. Like I can't smoke pot. I used to when I was younger, and now, it's not happening. Like I'm on a different plane of I'm in a different universe, and it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to chill you out, and it doesn't do that.
It doesn't. Okay.
No, I'm in a slow motion movie after one hit. It's horrible.
That sounds great.
Like
Inception.
it sounds great for 5 seconds, but then I'm like, what did you say? And then it catches up to me later.
Yeah, you forget what. Yeah.
I don't know what's happening right now.
It's like you're traveling through time.
And you're not supposed to get angry. I went to ACL Fest.
And you were mad the entire time.
A while ago.
Yeah, you're definitely not supposed to be angry.
Right. And I smoked something that somebody gave me, and then I was pissed at that person for the rest of the night, and I was you motherfucker! I cannot believe you did this to me.
The entire time you were there, the band.
I was mad.
Oh man,
it was after. It was after we saw all the good stuff, but it was horrible.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm a
lightweight and don't smoke weed.
No, I don't anymore. I haven't done it in years because it was making me angry. Which is horrible, and I'm
That's
not.
like the complete opposite
of who
effect.
I am.
Yeah.
For real. Even when I drink, I'm a really good drunk. I'm a really happy, lovey drunk. I just kind of fall asleep a little bit, or I cuss too much or whatever. But I don't know.
So you're a known sailor for sure. Your audience already knows you're a known sailor.
Of course.
So,
they know that I make weird jokes all the time. Yeah. I made a joke one time about shotgunning semen. obviously that's impossible. You can't shotgun semen. Like,
because no one cans it.
Because nobody, exactly, it doesn't have a distributor.
Is that the reason?
But
there's going to be someone out there that's going to do
somebody
that
who's a friend of somebody in my family heard it, and my mom was like, "What is this about?" And I was like, "Mom, I promise you."
You put it out in the universe, and so it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's a joke, Mom. It's comedy. It's comedy. I don't have herpes yet. Working on it.
Wait. Your boyfriend is listening. No,
he'll
right.
be here in a little bit.
No,
I tell him these jokes before he gets here.
But you said he doesn't listen to the show.
He doesn't listen to it.
All right.
Well, actually, on our first date, I told him, I was like, if you really like me, I wouldn't listen to it. Like, I would just stay away as far away from it as possible. Because, like, this is not who I am. This is just a podcast. This isn't like.
This is your personality. Yeah. It's it's your stage presence. Yeah.
Right.
Because you have a big
so
ego as well.
Guys, that like I have a separate personality.
She's wearing so
entertainment.
Obviously if you're listening to this, you don't know what we look like.
Right.
But you're wearing sunglasses.
Yeah.
It's not that bright, but you're wearing these sunglasses.
I don't like to be recognized, Marco.
Because
really,
it's like a rock and roll persona.
No, it's real embarrassing when people recognize me and they like bombard me and try to get my autograph.
We have actual musicians here.
Yeah.
And they're not wearing sunglasses,
yeah.
So this is funny to me.
Are you talking shit to me right now?
I know this is your show. I'm only a guest. I'm a
Marco.
guest. I know. I should shut up.
Awesome. Okay, so tell us about where we can watch the movie right now if we want to go see Brewed in the 210.
So Brewed in the 210, we premiered it on April the 6th during San Antonio Beer Week.
Right, which I unfortunately missed.
That's okay. A lot of people did. Yeah. It was a Wednesday. It was
it was also Beer Week, so I had another event.
Yeah, there's so many events that week. Yeah. There's so many things happening. So, but we had a great turnout. It's about, I probably want to say anywhere from like 150, 200 people showed up.
Nice.
I'm being a little bit liberal on that.
Uh-huh.
So
there were 7 people there.
Yeah, there's
like half of them were your family.
No, my family didn't show up.
Your family didn't go?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay.
No, you're right. They didn't show up.
Oh, okay. Was your wife there?
My wife was there.
Okay,
though.
that's all that matters.
And we had all great San Antonio beers on tap.
Nice.
Which was donated by GS 1221, their taps.
Right.
All the breweries, most of them were there. And so after that, we started trying to churn out some more screenings.
Okay.
What the tough thing about doing anything after Beer Week is that all the breweries don't want to do anything after Beer Week.
Right.
Because it's so much work for the breweries, and respectfully so, just because they do so much throughout that entire week. So they were kind of like, just give us a break and we'll work on it for the summer. So the first folks to jump on was Big Hops. Rob at Big Hops was really, really cool, and we did 3 screenings at all 3 of his locations, and we had pretty decent turnouts there. And next month we're having the first one for June is going to be at Growler Exchange. So that's our next one on June 3rd. It's going to be at Growler Exchange.
Nice.
So when this podcast is released,
that night is the screening.
Yes.
Perfect.
So at 8 o'clock when sun goes down,
well, now that you've said it here, you better watch out.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's going to blow the fuck up.
Yeah. So yes, we want to pack out Growler Exchange.
Yeah.
So that's going to be great.
Awesome.
And then after that, we're working on all the breweries to do screenings. I'm still working on one to do one at the Draft House, which is just so difficult.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of money, and this movie was not made with very much money.
Right.
So, and then some other places here in town that have showed a lot of interest wanting to screen it. So.
Awesome. I still want to do like a screening where we dub over the voices with like nonsense.
Yes.
I'm really excited about
there's
that.
There's no cursing in the film, but if you do it,
yes,
it's going to be like rated
it's rated X.
Yeah. Yes.
This is just like Scott Metzger being like, I really like to masturbate in my closet.
And then it just doesn't go into Brewed in the 210. It's
yeah. That's my vision.
Man.
I know.
You should live in California.
I know. It's crazy. I don't know why I haven't been discovered yet. It's really weird.
I know, because you look like a director of said films.
Of snuff films. I've heard that before. That's not the first time I've heard that.
But what would be your name?
When my name's not good enough?
No, like no, it's a stage name. You got to have a stage name. If you go to California, you got to have a stage name.
Shit, I don't know. What do you think my kitty
man.
cat?
Todd, you got anything?
I did. Well, I mean, I knew that some performers had stage names, but if she's just going to be
he's
like
making
a
me a stripper, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's what Kitty Cat sounded like.
I
know. Doesn't sound like
a director. Like directors sometimes
they
have
change
names.
their names.
Yeah.
Well, Contreras is
like
a really
McG.
difficult name for white people, so I sometimes.
McG's white, and his name is not McG, but he goes by McG.
I don't know who that is.
He did movies like.
What is Steven Spielberg's real name?
Oh, yeah.
Steven Spielberg.
Well, he's Jewish, so I don't want to even touch that.
I don't know why he even brought it up if he didn't want to touch it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
See, he's going to help me co-write the movie.
Todd can say whatever he wants. Number one, he's tall. He's from Colorado, and he's good looking, so he can say whatever he wants.
Oh,
so,
you guys want a moment? Or?
I mean, I didn't know that we were going to have one, but now that it's come up,
nice.
if we can just
see. Folks from Colorado can say whatever they want.
Yeah.
They come down here to Texas.
They smoke a lot of pot in Colorado, huh? I wouldn't be.
Well, I mean, it's legal to smoke pot.
Yeah.
It's up to the individual.
Right. No,
and
of
how
course.
angry they get.
They don't force
when
it on you.
when they do it.
They get after they're done. Yeah. Excuse me, but he deserved it. I'm just saying. Like that pot was straight from Mexico. That's not cool.
They have some good stuff in Colorado, from what I understand.
I'm sure they do. I don't know.
I mean.
I want to get to JABF this year.
Oh, you will not survive.
You don't think so?
You will not survive.
Thanks,
I'm more optimistic. I think she's going to do great.
I'd love to podcast
in the first
JABF.
hour.
That'd be awesome. No, I'll get drunk for sure, but the show gets better.
Podcast?
I want to podcast it.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Todd, that's a good
one.
I
thought
we're
that's
gonna start the
literally what you said.
podcast.
You need
That's
to
what we're
trademark
gonna do.
that. You need to just.
It's just going to be like me,
That's
some microphones, a shitload of meatballs, and all the pot in Colorado.
Meatballs?
That's what it's going to be. Meatballs are delicious. What do you mean? You don't like meatballs?
I mean,
The fuck's wrong with you,
yeah,
Marco?
but it's like.
Plus, Colorado's famous for its meatballs.
Yeah.
I don't know. What are they? Okay, what is Colorado famous for?
Rocky Mountain oysters.
And beer.
And beer.
Rocky Mountain oysters, like bull balls, right? I don't know about that.
That's why.
That's where I draw the line. That's
okay.
it. That's the line. We just found it. I didn't even know it existed, but there it is.
Wait, I wanted.
Took 34 She's Crafty shows, and we drew the line.
To find the line, and we found it right now. Gathered that, and I tried to tell the definition of wet burrito on the last podcast with Chrissy from Branchline and Kevin from Ranger Creek,
that one.
and I couldn't finish the definition because it made me uncomfortable, which is super weird.
Oh, anything that'll make you uncomfortable. Go. Just say it again.
No, I can't. I couldn't. I couldn't stop looking at it, and they were like, "Do you want to stop the podcast right now?" And I was like, "Well, I'm gonna flip over to images roll just for 1 second, and then we can move on to like whatever." Yeah, that's gross. Wet burritos are disgusting.
I have a lot of questions for you.
Oh God. Okay.
So I know this is your podcast,
right?
And so I want to know why you decided to get into a podcast that's about craft beer.
Okay, that's a really good question.
Yeah.
I wish I had a really great answer for you, except that my former co-host, Brandy, who doesn't do it anymore because she has a really great full life, she has a lot of really cool like comedy stuff, and this is a lot of work, so she doesn't do it anymore. But we used to be part of this like comedy group where we were writing like all this weird comedy stuff, and we didn't know each other, but we both had like this really weird kind of like gross sense of humor, and we don't get offended by like anything. Like people can say anything to me, and I do not care. Like
as funny. Most women, here's the deal: you're saying that most women behind closed doors are pretty foul. They won't admit it. They won't admit it. You're just like, hey, I'm just gonna say it.
But I just am who I am. I have two brothers, so that's how I was raised. Okay, like there was no filter in my house, and I continue to not have a filter. But anyway, she was really into craft beer, and I admittedly, lots and lots of times have said that like I drank craft beer like if I felt like I was somewhere where people were gonna judge me based on what I was ordering. But other than that, like I didn't give a shit. Like I'll drink Lone Star, Dos Equis, whatever. Like if it's cold and somebody's buying it for me, I don't care. But then we started the podcast, and now I can't drink anything but craft beer. Like now I'm like, ugh, what do you? Ugh.
Lone
Is that
Star.
A Dos Equis? Oh my god, that's disgusting.
Have you noticed that everybody in San Antonio likes? It doesn't matter the beer.
Yeah.
They like their beer completely dressed with.
Oh yeah.
They put lime, salt.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I was a little shocked by it because I'm like, why do you need to flavor your beer? But then I looked at the beer they were getting, so
and
it makes sense.
Makes sense, yeah, because it tastes like.
But hey, you know what? One of the things that I learned from the good folks at Friendly Spot.
Yeah.
You know what? Everybody's welcome. It doesn't matter the beer that they drink. It's their preference, like anything else. It's their preference.
Well, that's like kind of like the whole premise behind the podcast is like we're beer fans and not beer snobs.
Exactly.
We just want to talk about the beer and have a good time.
I think a good way to approach things is everyone should be allowed to like what they like.
Yeah.
At the same time, outreach or education about beer should be about helping people to discover something that they could end up being passionate about.
Exactly. And I think a lot of people are scared of what they don't know. And so craft beer is a little scary. Like, you can't go to somebody who's like drinking Lone Star and be like, hey, check out this coffee stout. And they'll be like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Like, you have to like ease people into it, just like you do with like, anal sex or something. I heard. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure.
That took like a really wrong turn. Like, I'm like, that threw me off.
You were about to say something super serious, and then I said anal.
Marco and I were on like this, like, we're really getting into it.
Yeah.
And
wow.
I'm tracking, and I'm like, bam, there comes this train.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I didn't even drink today.
I know, which I'm still just like. Oh, by the way, folks, if you're continuing to listen to us, Catherine has
continuing to listen to us.
Catherine has taken off her glasses now. So
I did. She's exposed. Yeah. I just want to see you guys better.
So what I was gonna say is, here's a funny thing. So while I was doing the documentary, and the cool thing was when I'm interviewing all these brewers and stuff, and a lot of them they're great folks. They're salt of the earth people.
Yeah.
They work really hard. They're really passionate about what they do. And Joey at Blue Star.
Okay.
When he started making a lot of his beers that, a lot of folks here in San Antonio back early 90s.
Right.
They weren't really exposed to craft beer. Everybody was really Lone Star, Bud Light, Bud, and all that kind of stuff, Miller. And so the hard thing for him was like he wanted to get people to really enjoy his beer. So a lot of folks would come in and be like, "Hey, let me get a Bud." And he's like, "Well, we don't have that, but I got this lager here,
this other thing
that you really like." And so what he would do, and I don't even know if I'm supposed to say this, but what he would do is he would go to the bartender and be like, "Hey, throw a little bit of water in there for him, a little bit of sparkling water for him."
Yeah.
And
make it less flavorful.
Yeah. And so like he would wean people off, and those same folks would come out.
Nice.
And they would partake in even more of his beers. And so like he would have to somehow bridge that gap.
Right.
And so that was a really cool thing about, Joey's a pilgrim here in San Antonio,
right.
Craft beer, you know, being one of the first brew pubs in San Antonio. And so he did a lot for who San Antonio is now, as they're growing. But that's one of the cool things that you get to learn from these folks, because it's like not, San Antonio was a big town for beer,
right?
And for a long time that Pearl, a lot of these Lone Star, a lot of these breweries they own the market, and so it was really, they had an uphill battle, and so now I think a lot of these breweries they're working really hard, and they're getting out there, and they're building a community, a culture of craft beer here in San Antonio. So it's really, really cool to see that.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you see and you experience in the documentary is you get to understand what these guys are going through and what they're trying to do and why they're passionate about it.
Awesome.
So that was my serious part. Sorry.
Yeah, no, thank you for bringing a little. Thanks for bringing us down, Marco. No, I'm just kidding. No, that's awesome.
Wow.
No, we encourage all beer nuts to go check out the movie and learn more, because San Antonio every day is growing and getting bigger and becoming more awesome.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
And less lame,
yes.
like everybody likes to call us. It's my favorite city in the world.
Yes.
So I hope more people come and try our beer and hang out.
Yeah.
Every day, more cool things are happening.
Absolutely.
Todd.
Yes.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about O'Dell?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Okay.
So, O'Dell Brewing, we are based in Fort Collins, Colorado.
Great city. I've been there. Love it.
It is. It's a great. I mean, it's verging on being a city. About 150,000 people. So it's a town, I guess. I mean, I don't know, but it's beautiful. It's a great place. We were the first craft brewery to start in Fort Collins in 1989. We were started by a brother, a sister, and Doug O'Dell, his sister Corky, and then Doug's wife, Wynn O'Dell, started us way back in the 80s. So we were the second craft brewery in Colorado, and now there's over 400 craft breweries in Colorado.
Nice.
I think there were fewer than 100 craft breweries in the country when we started. Now there's over 4,000 with like something like another 6,000 in planning stages or something like that. It's pretty crazy world. Different now than when we started, or even when I got into the craft beer industry, which was in the early 2000s. But we've been brewing there for 27 years, I guess, if I'm doing the math correctly. And we brew a variety of different beers. When we started out in our early days, we did mostly English-inspired ales. And over time, we've grown to be more innovative and bring in different brewing traditions and do our own, innovations. And we've got a really wide portfolio. We're available in 12 states, including Texas. So we're just we're not a national brewery, just kind of a Mountain West, Southwest regional brewer. We're not available on the West Coast. We're not available anywhere east of the Mississippi. But we are the 32nd largest craft brewery in the country.
Nice.
So we like to be pretty well represented in the places that we do distribute our beer, but we don't distribute it all that far and wide.
Cool. Awesome. And we're going to taste 2 beers today.
We are.
We're going to do the Easy Street Wheat, right?
Easy Street Wheat, yeah, that's right.
And the Jolly
Pirate.
The Jolly Pirate. What's better than a Jolly Pirate? Marco?
Oh, no, wait. Jolly Russian.
Jolly Russian.
Russian.
We're going
Damn
to
it.
drink something,
And
guys.
We just changed that name. I apologize.
Shout out to Willie D, who just showed up. He's one of our sponsors for the podcast, and he comes and takes pictures all the time, which is super awesome and so nice of him. And he just
That is nice. I thought that was your boyfriend.
No, he's
No.
just
Whoa,
a friend
the
of the
way
podcast.
the way she
Sorry.
said that.
No,
Sorry.
no, he's not.
Sorry, Willie.
Yeah, I just saw
Willie's
a guy.
married. Willie has a
Sorry,
wife.
I just saw a guy take pictures.
Yeah.
And
That'd
so I
be
was like,
super
'cause you
weird.
said
If like
your
my
boyfriend
boyfriend just
showing
walked
up.
up and started clicking pictures, Marco, like that's super
Maybe he's
weird.
proud of you.
He's not.
He's
no,
okay.
just so you know.
No, okay, he's not proud.
No, I'm just kidding. I
No,
know.
hey,
He's not-
so O'Dell. Okay, so my wife and I, we went to Colorado back in November, and you can't go to all the breweries. It's so difficult. And
You couldn't go to 400 breweries
I
in
know,
your
right?
trip?
Yeah. So when we were driving by, we're trying to figure out where we wanted to go, and so O'Dell. I mean, it is a beautiful brewery. That whole building. I mean, it looked really, really nice. I did not get to
And
go
that's
in
why
there.
they drove right by it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're like,
they're
"Whoa,
like, oh, that
looks
looks
really
so
cool."
nice.
It was like, okay.
The next
so,
part is when he tells me that they only
Yeah.
had time to go to New Belgium.
Okay, so they're next door to Fort Collins Brewing Company. So you're next door to Fort Collins.
But
Brewing.
in Marco's defense, he didn't make the Brewed in the Denver movie.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So, but here's the deal. The cool thing about the community there, and it's because I have a friend that lives out in Hayden, Colorado.
Yeah.
Right outside of Steamboat, and he says to me, look, Colorado and all these towns that you kind of see around Colorado, there's this community of people, and you see that because when we were there and we stayed in Fort Collins for the night, there was because it was during Halloween actually, the whole community came out with their kids the entire day, and you don't see this in San Antonio,
Yeah.
which is so weird.
Yeah.
But the entire community filled the entire center of the town and went to all the stores trick-or-treating. They basically stopped the entire day, and it was like
Wow.
this huge day of just having a great time. It was a family culture, and a lot of people are all about mining. Like, mining is just a big thing obviously in Colorado. And so, like, it's just, you see this huge culture, this community that's built around, I want to say it's built around these values that these breweries kind of go after, you know. That's just me. That's what I saw. That's what I experienced, you know, because we went to Steamboat, we went to Hayden, we went to Colorado Springs. Not Colorado Springs, I'm sorry. What's where University of Colorado's at? Boulder. Thank you, Boulder.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we went all around. We tried to experience as much as we can. So, I mean, it's very cool. Colorado's a great state. I have a Colorado hat. So if I didn't live in Texas, I would live in Colorado. So.
Because you have the hat. It's just
No.
convenient.
It all comes back to the hat.
It's
Jeez.
just convenient.
Jeez, you're killing me. You're killing me.
Sorry.
I'm never coming
Trying
back
to- I'm
here. Well, I
sorry.
will never probably be invited because I'm not as funny as
no,
you.
what?
Dude,
We'll talk about this after.
You're
talk
so
after.
funny. I can't
No,
be
I'm
as
not.
funny as you.
I'm really not. I'm not that funny.
Well,
You're the only person
you know,
that's
to your point, I don't know that that Colorado has better or worse sense of community than anywhere else.
It was just different.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, but I will say that with Colorado being, you know, basically the epicenter of craft beer
Yeah.
and the growth of craft beer, with the first craft brewery in the country opening in Colorado, and you know, I'd say probably with Oregon being the two leaders of bringing craft brewing to the forefront. It definitely, you know, from Colorado breweries, there became a camaraderie within the brewing industry. You know, the BA is located there, and they have done a lot over the last 30 years to really band craft brewers together in a way that's been really helpful, not without some controversy here and there, but in a way to say that, hey, we're all doing one thing because we believe in good beer and we believe in brewing something that we're passionate about and getting it out to people that we hope to infect with our passion. And that's something that deserves to be fought for. And so, like you said, Fort Collins Brewery's right next door. New Belgium is right next door. There's something like 15 or 20 breweries in that small little town of Fort Collins. And in other industries, that could be looked at as competitive, but we have always looked at it more like we're all doing the same thing and trying to get more people to drink better beer and drink beer that's produced by makers and not by, just a logo and the multinational corporation, and that's just one line item in their portfolio.
Yeah.
Nice.
Portfolio.
I don't have one of those.
My brother knows what that is.
Yeah.
I just think it's like one of those things you put papers in it.
Well, you make movies, so you should.
Yeah, you don't have a portfolio. What do you do?
What do you do?
What do you make the movie on your iPhone?
Do you know how to? I don't know. I didn't go to college. Actually, I did, but I just like saying I didn't go to college because it sounds funnier.
Oh, is it?
No.
I went to college. I didn't finish. I went to UT.
Did you really?
Yeah,
oh my gosh, I hate UT so much.
What?
Yes. I went to Houston, and UT hates us.
Really?
Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
I might speak up. I doubt that UT hates Houston.
Oh yeah, no, they do.
All right, so here's my point.
What? No.
And here,
okay.
Right,
go ahead. No. Go ahead. I want to hear your
all right.
point. Yeah.
So I went to college in Fort Collins at Colorado State University.
Yes, the Rams.
And so
beautiful campus, by the way.
I agree. So we are a little school. We don't have any really major athletic programs to speak of. And we all think that our rival is Colorado University of Colorado at Boulder, the Buffaloes. And we're like, yeah, man, go Rams, screw the Buffaloes. They're our rival. Meanwhile, they're in a major division, and they're like, who? What?
Oh, I see what
you
you're
know
saying.
what you know what I mean?
They're like, he's saying that UT doesn't even think about you.
That's what I'm thinking. That's
no,
what I'm saying.
and you know what? And so here's the funny thing. So let me give you a little. Let me backtrack.
You went to the
for
University of Houston, or you went to Rice, or
I don't
Houston.
think that UT they're busy with A&M in Oklahoma.
Well, not A&M anymore. So here's the funny thing. Back in the day, the University of Houston was part of the Southwest Conference, and we used to demolish Texas. I mean, it was ridiculous how much we would demolish them in every sport. And then when the Big 12 came around, they were like, hey, we don't need you anymore. And so we basically just vanished into oblivion, playing in Conference USA, playing crappy universities, and just not making any kind of impact. So then, fast forward now, we're now looked at to be a new member of the Big 12 because, of course, we've been winning. We've been doing really good. We got this amazing coach that came out of Ohio State, and we won 13 games last year. We beat Florida State in the Peach Bowl. I mean, we won our conference, so everything's been going great.
Yeah.
So the rumor is that we're looked at to be in the Big 12, but guess who's in charge of the Big 12? The University of Texas. And they will not have
that's why you think that UT doesn't
no, for the longest time we've been trying to get in the Big 12.
Because I can tell you when I was at UT,
like
I didn't give a shit about the
No, it's not
Houston.
conspiracy.
All I cared about was smoking pot and playing my guitar. That's all I cared about.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I have a really good friend that went to UT, and he said he'd never smoked pot.
Well, he doesn't
he
sound
said
like
he
he's
was
very much fun, Marco. I don't.
And he said he didn't have fun in college.
Did he graduate?
Yeah, he did.
Because I didn't. So there's the difference.
And then I had a friend who said that's all he did was party, and he didn't graduate.
It's too much fun. There's
Yeah.
like something
that's
to do
what you
every
gotta
single night. Yeah.
So there's like an inverse correlation at UT for how much fun you have and the likelihood
And then
of
whether or not you
graduating.
go to class the next day.
Yeah.
Yes,
But that's how you
exactly.
say you're from UT. You didn't graduate.
I
And
didn't
you smoked
graduate.
pot.
I just smoked pot and had a good time and drank a lot. I drank a lot of Tecate
Oh,
back then.
tasty.
and ate a lot of macaroni and cheese. That's what I did.
Man.
I know.
So what did you major in, Todd?
Not beer.
Not beer.
I majored in political science and philosophy.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Well, I mean, it was nice in that when I graduated, I was like, I guess I'll get a job in beer.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't anybody who was hiring for philosophers.
Todd, what is your favorite beer from O'Dell?
Oh, that you couldn't possibly make me choose that question.
Man.
That's like making me pick my favorite child.
Loose leaf?
Do you have a favorite child?
Listen, I don't have any children.
Oh, okay.
So
That's
my-
an easy question then.
but
You got off easy on that one.
Thank you.
Don't do that. Don't let him get off easy.
What? He doesn't have any kids. I can't make him choose from like his sperm. He doesn't.
That's awesome.
I don't have an inventory on,
Yeah.
on that anyway.
It's a lot of kids.
Yeah, I mean
children
that's what
that
I'm
he has to
saying. Like,
pick.
how could you pick one personality? You've got it.
I will say this. The beer that probably it's not the beer that I drink the most from O'Dell, but the beer that that turned me on to craft beer way before I was 21. In fact, it turned me on to beer altogether. Growing up, I grew up in a very small town in Colorado that did not have access to very good beer. I was only exposed to the light lagers of the world, and I was not into it very much. But when I went to school, I got a job at this restaurant that was like a fine dining restaurant, but it closed at 10, and the owner would go home, and all the employees would like sit down, and it was underground, so like no windows. And like I was at 18 years old as a freshman in college, like the bartenders or whoever would be like, hey, you want to have something to drink? No problem. Who cares? And at that point, I didn't believe that I liked beer at all, but we had 90 shilling in a bottle.
90 shilling, yeah.
And 90 shilling was the first beer I ever tasted where I was like, holy shit, I love beer. And from there, I became a home brewer. I ended up working at a brew pub.
Oh, nice.
Which one?
Linden's Brewing Company.
Are they there?
They're
No.
no longer there. Revealing how old I am, this was like in the year 2000.
Oh gosh, wait, how old are you?
I'm 35.
Yeah, same
I'm
here. You're
37.
not old, man.
I'm
Oh, you don't look 37.
I
So
am 37.
stop. You don't look 37.
Well,
you look
thank
like
you.
you're what?
Stop it, Marco. That's enough.
Like, you're
Yeah.
blushing.
Yeah.
No, she's not blushing.
No,
She's
no.
just drunk.
I haven't even had anything.
not yet. I thought
Not
we
yet.
esta-
I
thought
know,
we-
dang it.
We haven't
thought we
gotten there.
established
See,
that
that
the
joke
drunkenness
doesn't
is
work.
Yeah,
It's in the
almost
future.
there. Almost there.
But anyway, yeah, just to put a capper on it, 90 shilling completely set me on a course of life where I went from not thinking I liked beer at all to being so passionate about it that I ended up pursuing a career in it. And it's only by random chance that I ended up working for O'Dell, because at that point I didn't know anyone who was at O'Dell, or that I would end up being part of the crew over there.
See,
Nice.
I don't have that great of a story. So my first craft beer I ever had was Newcastle Brown Ale, and it was
Yeah.
Shiner
That's not
Bock.
bad.
That's really cool, though. You're like,
Yeah.
hey, you know what? I had this one. It changed my life, so to speak. And then I'm working for them. You know,
Yeah.
that's just like that's
Yeah.
a really cool story.
It's a
you
great
know?
story. I like it. What
Okay.
I think we're gonna do now.
Oh,
before
really? We're
Marco
wrapping
goes
it
on
up?
Another tangent.
We're wrapping it up.
I'm tired of bullshit. Let's just be honest. It's enough already. No, we're gonna introduce our musical guest.
Yes, I'm excited.
Marisa. She's gonna play us into break. Marisa, do you want to grab the mic there, sweetheart? Get real nice and close to it.
Am I nice and close to it?
You're close enough.
All right.
And let us know where we can find you. If people are going to hear you, and they're going to blow up. You're going to blow up after this, right? So where can they find you online?
Right now, they can find me on Facebook
Okay.
under Marisa Danielle Flores.
Okay.
That's my Facebook page. Or you can friend me on Facebook.
I'm
Nice.
looking you up right
I'm not
now.
that famous to where,
Marco's already in
I
it.
haven't reached my friend limit yet.
Okay.
So you could add me.
Yeah,
She's
so
not
we
so
wanna
famous that she has to wear sunglasses.
That she has her sunglasses. It's
Yeah.
the middle of
Yeah.
the fucking day.
Yeah.
You guys, it's daytime. It's not like it's
Give
not
her the
nighttime.
sunglasses,
Oh my god,
Catherine.
Oh my god. You can have. Would you like my sunglasses? I can give them
No,
to
I
you.
can't- I
Okay. She
can't.
doesn't want them because they were on my sweaty face, man.
Actually, yes.
That
Wait.
was, that
Actually,
was,
now that you mention
it
it,
was the subtext.
I'd really love it. So if you want to, what song are you going to play for us?
I'm going to play your original. Yeah, that's it. Go ahead.
Oh,
Marco
sweet.
found her because that's super
I'm gonna-
creepy,
See,
man.
So I have a guitar,
Like, that
so
took
you know
30
that I'm a
seconds.
Well, there's
musician.
another
That's totally
one.
why that's there. That one too. That's my.
She has
Facebook
2
page.
Facebook pages,
Oh,
and
do you have
say
like
that
a you
I
have
have
like
a big
fan
ego.
page and then like a personal page, or you
Yeah,
just have
that's
2
the band
personal
page,
pages?
Okay.
Oh,
Because
okay.
it has like all the professional pictures, and it
Nice.
looks like
Very nice.
all 500
What?
likes.
I don't have a big ego. She has 2 Facebook pages.
I have one, and then I have a She's Crafty one. That's it.
I don't
That's
know.
what you do.
Oh, okay.
You
That's
have
what
to
you
have
do.
the
I guess that
personality.
makes
You
that
have
makes
a Brewed in the
sense.
210
Sorry,
page,
okay.
right? Back it
See,
up.
I know. I'm
I
sorry.
agree with
What the
Marissa.
fuck?
Let's talk more about her music.
Yeah, okay,
Sorry.
I'm sorry. Marco is really annoying. I don't
I was
don't
just
even
trying to
know
add
if I can
another
do
friend.
this
I don't have any
anymore.
friends, so.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, so I'm going to get you set up so you can play
Sounds
us
great.
in the break. And then when we come back from the break, we're going to try some O'Dell beer. Sound good? Awesome.
sky and you're just my fix. I know your type, so easy to fool. A young girl like me who's so eager to please. An empty person with a heart of stone. But I'll never do just what I'm told. My skeleton dances with me, locked in the closet, and I hold the key. Hidden away too, and my mistakes, so we won't see that he's got every part of me. Your lips are poison when they reach my name. I'm lost in this lover's flame. Let me remind you, my baby, that you can't have me, but you'll be sure that I have every piece of you. And then I'll leave your heart like you left mine, but there'll be nothing inside except for my skeleton dances with me, locked in the closet, and I hold the key. Hidden away too, and my mistakes, so we won't see that he's got every part of me. Oh, your empty intentions work so sweet. My heart's not for sale, but here's my greed. You laugh at pain, but so do I. Do I make you smile? Does it hurt to know you're not for me? I'm your skeleton. I'm lifeless like you. I prey on the weakness to get me through whatever this is that brings me to you. But don't get me wrong, I'd love to see you fall.
Thank you so much. That was amazing. The She's Crafty podcast has only one mission, and that is to dominate this planet with a love of craft beer and comedy. You can help us do that by going to iTunes and rating, reviewing, and subscribing to the She's Crafty podcast. The more people that do that, the higher our rankings will get in iTunes, and the more people will listen to us. The more people that listen to us, the more badass fucking episodes we can put out every week. So go to iTunes and rate, review, and subscribe to the She's Crafty podcast.
Is this a frat party?
Yeah, my sister invited us. She said there'd be good beer.
Okay, well, let's check it out.
Ooh, check out that guy.
Damn. Hey, hot balls. Nice can.
I'm more than just my beer.
Hey, how about you bring your beer and more than just your beer over here and share?
Oh, wow. He's actually coming over here.
Is that Busted Sandal 2-0 Ale?
Hell yeah. And the Slippery Rock IPA.
I didn't appreciate your objectification of my cans and my hot body.
It was definitely just your cans.
You brought Busted Sandal beer. It was totally your can.
To find out where you can find Busted Sandal cans in San Antonio, New Braunfels, and Austin, head over to bustedsandalbrewing.com/can locator.
And don't forget, you can also find all their other beers on draft in San Antonio, Houston, and the Rio Grande Valley. bustedsandalbrewing.com.
Okay, we're back from break, and we are going to try some delicious O'Dell beer. And the first one that we're going to try is the Easy Street, right?
Yeah, Easy Street Wheat.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about this beer.
Yeah, so first and foremost, this is at once kind of a special beer for Texas, and also a beer that we've been brewing, like one of our oldest beers in our portfolio. It's not a beer that we normally send down here.
Okay.
We've only been selling our beer in Texas for a little over 2 years. We started selling in April of 2014. but we don't bring necessarily every single beer that we brew to every single market that we sell our beer in. That being said, we have a variety 12-pack that we bring out, and it changes season by season. And this season for the summer, we put Easy Street Wheat into it, and to that end, we brought in some draft, and since we're at the Hoppy Monk, Pedro and his team here really like this beer, so brought it in. But it's really a prototypical American unfiltered wheat. So the examples that we have here don't have a ton of yeasty haze in them, but that's typical for a beer that's unfiltered. It won't be completely uniform throughout the keg. The only ones that are like that have yogurt collagen injected into them to help suspend the yeast uniformly. That being said, one thing I love about this beer, opposed to a lot of wheat beers that have come out in the last, let's say, 10 years or so, is that it really is crisp and dry. The citrus character in this is going to be much more lemony, as opposed to like the sort of the sweet orange citrus that you'll get in a lot of other wheat beers, and that's neither good nor bad, but I personally tend to like dryness. And it also doesn't have any of the Belgian qualities that you might expect from a Hefeweizen that are popular in this region, in particular clove, allspice, things like that. So overall, you're going to get a great citrus character. It's going to be really dry, really refreshing, and really perfect for the Texas heat.
Yeah, I really love it. Like, you can really taste the citrus, and it's easy to drink, which is my favorite kind of beer.
It is. It's our easiest drink. It's one of our two easiest drinking beers, I would say, and it's won gold medals at the Great American Beer Festival twice. So it's kind of up there in that category with, I'd say, Widmer Half, UFO by Harpoon.
Yes. What do you think,
similar
Marco?
styles.
It is extremely refreshing on a hot summer day.
Yeah.
I think with wheat ales, I'm a huge fan of wheat ales, so this one's just right up there. I mean, it's really good. The color looks really, really good. You get a really, like you said, you get a good citrus note to it. But I think my best part is you really could chug this.
You just
one,
drink the shit out of this beer.
Yeah, you can.
This is a Shotgun Friday beer.
Yeah,
is what it is. Yeah.
You guys don't can right now, right?
Actually, we do can. We just started canning at the beginning of this year, and right now we have 90 Shilling, our IPA, Loose Leaf, which is our session ale, and St. Lupulin, which is our summer seasonal, all in cans. And we're about to release a can-only beer, which is going to be an unfiltered American Pale Ale called Drumroll, and that'll come out in June, and that'll be a year-round beer, and it'll be the first year-round beer that we've released in 3 years, the first new year-round beer that we've released in quite a while, and it will be the first beer that we release that will only be in cans. So we're relatively new to the canning world, but yeah, we're totally on board with canning.
Awesome.
Yeah, this one would be amazing on the river if you can this bad
really
boy.
Would.
Take it to the river.
For
It'd be
sure.
awesome.
Nice, with a burger.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, man. This is excellent. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, really, really happy to share it with you guys, and it'll be available, in select locations and bars and restaurants throughout the rest of the summer, and also in that variety 12-pack I talked about.
So while we're waiting for them to bring the other beer out,
oh man,
are you going to be okay with that?
I'm scared because.
Are you? Because it's 13%. Are you scared of me?
Well, I didn't realize they were going to give us full beers.
Are you scared of me? Or are you scared of the beer?
No, this one I'm really happy it was a full beer.
No, this is a real. I know.
It's so tasty.
I know. That's why I told you I don't drink beforehand. I'll throw up on you.
How attractive.
Just like
a lady.
Super sexy. Well, it depends on who you are, Marco. Some people are into that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
My wife always threatens that she'll throw up on me.
Does she? What?
I don't know why she threatens
it's like a
that.
standard threat.
I was joking.
But I think she's joking too, but I don't know.
You think she is. You don't know for sure. You don't know for sure. So in the meantime, did you have any little beer education facts you want to give us?
Like factoids? Or
yeah, like any little layman.
Can I ask some?
Yeah,
okay.
do it. That's what you're here for.
How many barrels y'all brew a year?
Last year we brewed about 116,000 barrels, and this year we're shooting for about 135, I would say.
Gosh, that is just amazing. I mean, what's amazing about that is, man, it's like here in San Antonio. I mean, it's just not. But you guys have been around, like you said, for 20-something years, more than that.
Yeah,
it's just crazy, man. That's so awesome.
We've been around for a long time, and so we've had time to slowly build up to that, and it is, starting to feel like a lot of beer. When I started working for the brewery, we were down about 20,000 barrels, or not down 20,000 barrels. We were brewing about 20,000 barrels of beer a year. So it's been a lot of growth in the time that I've worked for the brewery. But that's just mirrored craft beer in general, and the brewers that you have here in San Antonio, a lot of them are newer. And the city is still developing its craft identity. It's one thing that's really awesome about the project that you just created. That'll only help that, and there, I don't see any reason why, breweries in San Antonio won't get to that, or there won't be breweries that exceed that over time. I mean, I think Freetail's doing a great job in that regard of like planning themselves well.
Are you guys experimenting with any like new hops or anything like that?
Yeah.
Awesome. I love to hear that, man, when they do that kind of stuff. That's so fun.
So we have we always experiment with as many new hops as we can get. We have some great relationships with our hop growers and the co-ops that we source our hops from. We have a specific beer called Wolf Picker that comes out each spring, and that is always brewed with experimental hops. So it's a new beer every time we brew it, but we are always using hops that are not available on the general market yet. And some of those hops that have been in Wolf Picker have turned out to be really big sort of blockbuster hops. Like the biggest example that I can mention, and especially since you mentioned that you like a pale Mosaic from Hops and Grain up in Austin, is we were the first craft brewery to ever brew with Mosaic.
No
hops.
way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's such a famous hop now.
Well, now it is. So, I always recommend in the spring for people to check out Wolf Picker, because you're like sort of drinking the future of hops. So we love using hops. We love brewing in innovative ways. We were one of the first craft breweries to really embrace hop backing, which is a secondary post-boil hop addition that really increases aroma and complexity. And so, we're really, really proud of the way that we use hops in our beer. So, yes, absolutely, we do a lot of experimental hops if we can.
So, for you, being from Colorado, do you have like a local beer that you really love that's like your go-to Texas beer?
Boy, you guys are really putting me in a tough position.
Okay, how about this? Let's give you an easier one. What is real shit that you really don't like?
Oh, see, that's even worse, right?
Whoa, that's like
because on the one, it's like if I
what's the shittiest craft beer you've had? No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. We don't want to do that.
How about I just name a couple breweries?
So
I live in Austin, and I really like Hops and Grain. I really like Austin Beer Works.
Okay.
Those guys are both doing some really great beers.
Yeah.
And I like the people. And as far as brew pubs, Pint House Pizza.
Oh, so good.
Is it? I've never been.
You're
there.
missing out.
So there's two Pint House Pizza locations.
Okay.
Their director of brewing actually used to be our head brewer.
No way.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
So he used to work with us, so obviously we've got a great relationship there. But he's put together a really tremendous brewing team, and then the non-brewing side of the business has really given the brewer side of the business at Pint House a lot of creative leeway, so they can really create whatever they want to create, and they're brewing some fantastic beers, and they keep doing more. So they're really helping the Central Texas beer scene, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And that's not to say I don't love the rest of the Texas breweries.
Well, I
that are
noticed
out
that you didn't mention anybody in San Antonio, and like
didn't I just say that
Whoa.
Freetail's
I'm
doing
just
great?
saying. Well, like who doesn't mention Freetail? Come on. Duh. Yeah.
So I went out of
That's
my way.
like saying like the Alamos in San Antonio.
I went out of my way to be politically correct on that answer, and you wouldn't let me get away with it.
No, it's fine. I love all the beer. Just so you got anybody that wants to sponsor this show.
Yeah.
I fucking love it all.
I love you if you want to sponsor us.
I love
think
all
that's
of you.
great.
Yeah.
So I will. I don't know if this is a beer factoid, but I've been proselytizing about this for a little while, as far as a sort of a component of beer education. If you'll give me a moment, if we have time.
We always have time.
Here we go. Oh
There's no time limit to
I'm
this show.
sorry.
We can go
I'm
as long
sorry,
as we
Todd.
want. Oh wow, those are full pours.
I'm sorry, Todd. Those look
brought
dangerously
this.
good.
Those are full beers.
Oh, the Hoppy Monk always treats us so
Wait,
well.
I want to hear real quick what Marisa and Andres.
Think of the beer?
Yeah. Our musical guest.
Do you want to get close to the mic?
Well, I'm
The-
the,
the-
I'm the one that puts all the lime and salt in the Dos Equis.
Oh, dang. I just burnt.
You know what? But you have to drink it that way.
I'm totally fine.
That's
with
because
it.
you're smart. You have to drink it that way. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it doesn't taste
I
good.
really can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's that's
Do
where
some
the
shade.
genesis of lime and salt in beers came from. Was there were all these Germans went across the world and started brewing German light lager beers in Africa and in Mexico and in China. So they were just brewing these same beers, but in these hot locations, the beer would just spoil, and it tasted terrible. And so squeezing a giant lime and salting your light lager beer was the genesis of that, was just to mask the fact that
no
the
idea.
beer tasted terrible.
There's our beer education.
Todd.
Came out of nowhere.
Todd needs to be on the show 24/7.
Listen, Todd can sit next to me anytime he wants to.
Yeah. Number one, again,
I'm not
Todd is
complaining.
a way better looking guy than myself or
I'm
anybody
feeling
you've ever
uncomfortable
had.
with this. This is the second time.
This is the second time he's hit on you. Like he's
You're
openly
from Colorado
hitting
and
on you.
Austin. I think you'll be all right.
No, but it's really good. Like the whole citrus, I could
Yeah.
never. I actually taste it. Like,
Yeah,
it tastes
see?
really good.
That's awesome.
So do you drink a lot of craft beer, Marisa, or is this
No,
like
I
kind
drink
of
a lot
like
of
your
tequila.
first? Oh shit,
There you
girl.
go. She's a musician. They gotta drink
Holy
tequila.
shit.
You know,
What?
they don't have to be mutually exclusive.
Like
you can drink
yeah.
craft beer and drink
Will you
tequila.
like take shots of tequila, or you?
Nice.
Oh wow, that's hardcore. The last time I drank shots of tequila, I was a senior in high school, and it was after prom, and I got so sick that I've never had tequila.
And then
again.
you woke up and you're
And I was
your
pregnant.
age.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm joking. That didn't happen. And now I'm a mom.
What a
No.
great story.
No,
you have
I
the
did
best
not get
stories.
pregnant.
You have the best stories. You need to roll with
No,
it.
I actually, speaking of, I vomited on my date. He was getting handsy with me, and I was like, I don't feel so good, though. Like, I don't feel good. And he was like, come on. And I was like, no, I really don't feel good. And then I was just like, bleh,
This is
everywhere.
gold.
On his rented suit.
We're writing a script and we're doing a
yeah,
film.
we're doing a movie.
Because this is gold.
Yeah.
And we got to cast
Yeah,
Todd.
my
Good-looking guy
my
right here.
mom is so proud of me.
Again.
Dude, that's like the third time he's hit on you.
I'll take it. Well, I already have his number.
Oh
We'll
my
be,
God.
we'll be
Like we can't see what's happening under the table is what I'm saying, Marisa. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
I have no idea what's happening
I'm
under
still,
this table right
I'm
now.
still like, I'm impressed. Tequila?
That's crazy. It's because you're young. Well, you said you were 21,
I don't
right?
wake
Yeah.
up with a hangover
Like at
yet.
37,
Like,
that
it'll
shit's not
happen
happening.
someday.
I'm
it
not
does get
tequila.
rougher.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like I should just enjoy it now.
Like now it gets to be like 10:30, and I'm like, are you guys done, or are we gonna go
10:30,
home
I'm
now?
like 9.
have
I'm
to
like,
do
I'm
it
ready to go to
now.
bed.
I'm
Because
done.
then I have MCATs in like 2 years, and
What?
I won't be able to do anything.
Jesus Christ,
Listen
this
to
girl
this
just
one,
pulling
yeah.
everything out.
Dang, that's awesome.
Oh, I feel like I've done nothing
Already
with my
know.
life.
I know.
Oh.
You're
Such
doing
a
the
failure.
podcast.
Sorry, I do this
Come
shit.
on.
That's
amazing.
Yeah, whatever.
Hey, what y'all don't know is Catherine has this amazing, I don't know if you can use this as an ad, but Catherine and her
happened?
brother have this amazing shirt company, Barbacoa Apparel. And if you live in the San Antonio area and you've been to Whole Earth, you've been around town, you see them set up tables, they have the coolest shirts. My favorite
Thank
one
you.
is the one with the cow. That's it's all cut up into different meats. So if you're around town, buy one of these shirts because they're
That's
so
nice.
freaking awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, because
Thank you so much.
support local. I'm a huge support local guy.
We're so lucky because we live in the best city on earth, and there's so much good comedy that comes from that. We make great T-shirts from it. So if you
Dude.
love bean and cheese tacos,
Yes, if you
buy
love
the bean and
breakfast
cheese shirt.
tacos, if you love
That's
tacos at all, carne guisada. If you have,
right.
you
Yeah.
gotta buy the
That's a
shirts. If
big
you're a
seller,
huge supporter of all
actually.
that, you gotta buy the shirts.
I
And I
know.
think the best thing about it is the newest one,
Mhm.
Richie. The
Oh
Richie
yeah,
shirts.
the La Bamba one.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Come on, that's
We
like
have no standards when it comes to our products.
yeah.
So we just really love
You have
La Bamba. And I was
Chapulín?
like, we have Chapulín. That's
You have
right.
Chapulín stickers. They got stickers too, everybody. So
They do.
definitely
Thank you.
buy some of their products, man.
Yes.
And
Put gas in my car.
if
That was just a non sequitur.
Yeah.
Buy the products.
If you
and
see me at the
also
gas station,
Yeah.
just be like, hey, I really appreciate what
Run
you
your
do.
credit-
Can I put
run
some
your
gas in
Yeah.
your car? And I'll be
And-
like, if it
Yeah.
doesn't mean your penis, absolutely.
beer in your mouth.
Beer
There
in
you
my
go.
mouth, that works too. Perfect.
And I don't want to leave Todd out, but
Yeah.
if you're at a bar and you see the O'Dell Easy Street Wheat, you got to try it, everybody.
Yeah,
it's
so
so
good.
freaking
It
good.
really is really good.
If,
It's
especially, okay, everybody listen in San Antonio, come on. You got to go to a bar and get it because this is really refreshing.
So where can they get, other than the Hoppy Monk, which is our home away from home, and we love the
I
Hoppy
mean,
Monk.
I guess I would have to say let's encourage
Just say
people to
come
come
to the Hoppy Monk. That's right. What else do they have on tap here?
From
you
O'Dell,
guys, yeah.
at the moment, well, they've got 90 shilling, which I professed my love to
Right.
earlier. We've got the Medler.
Marco's upset because you didn't profess his love, your love to him. But it's fine.
Marco, you can't. Marco, you
can't have
rush
all
it.
the love,
You
Marco.
you can't rush it.
What
you
Todd
know?
doesn't, Todd's not telling us something. He's actually a Hollywood actor, and I'm trying
Oh
to
my
figure
God,
out
this is
where
getting
he's
weird
been
now.
in.
You're making me really uncomfortable. I'm just telling you.
You're just jealous because you didn't
Oh
get
my
there
God.
first.
Listen, you have no idea what my game is like, okay? Don't try
Oh,
something.
sister, we're going. Let's do this.
Whatever. All right, awesome. Let's try this other.
Yeah. So
beer.
that's another one that we have. So as we've kind of gone back and forth, this is a beer that has been going by the name Russian Pirate for the last 8 months, but we are transitioning the name. It's now the Jolly Russian.
Which is weird because I don't think I've ever met any really jolly Russians.
You haven't met a Jolly Russian? Russians
No,
are very
I-
jolly.
Are they?
They
I don't
actually
know.
are.
I don't really know that many Russians.
They are.
Are they?
Russians are extremely
yeah.
jolly. They're so gregarious.
Oh.
And they love,
God.
they love
when
vodka.
you say it that way.
They love vodka so
Do-
much.
yeah, they do.
You know,
yeah.
okay, so
I know
sorry,
that.
you talk about Russians. I gotta say this really, really quick. I was in Russia.
What?
Yes, and
Okay.
believe it or not, I was in Russia
Yeah.
for a mission trip.
Okay.
Okay, and so the host church that we were with, they were like, "Hey, we're gonna take you guys out, and we're gonna show you a great time at this great little place that was supposedly it was like underground, and the KGB
Uh-huh.
owned this place, and they
Okay.
ate there, whatever."
It's like the Russian Goodfellas.
Pretty much.
Okay.
It's very, very shady looking, but it's
Yeah.
awesome food.
Okay.
You get in there, and then at the end of the night, they're like, "Hey, we just want to give you all a good Russian tradition." They bring out Russian horseradish vodka. I'm not a huge fan of horseradish.
That sounds
And
awful.
it was chilled. And I got to tell you.
Was it good?
Yeah.
Do you remember any of it?
But they all that's their thing. They love drinking.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I'm
it's
like,
cold there,
they're
right?
all,
So
they were all
gotta
just,
warm up.
it was great.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, Russians
Nice.
are all jolly people.
Okay, I believe you. That was a hard sell, but I got it.
Done.
Made it happen.
Yeah.
Na zdarovye.
So I
Go.
can smell before I even taste this.
Yeah, smell it.
I'm gonna get real
Absolutely.
douchey and I'm
So
gonna
y-
smell it.
No, that's not douchey at all. That's,
I can smell cocoa.
cocoa, coffee, yeah,
Whiskey.
You smell the coffee.
It's a little okay. For being 13%, it doesn't taste super boozy to me.
No, it doesn't. You're,
That's super
you're
dangerous.
absolutely agree with
And
you
I
on
don't
that.
like. Sometimes I'm not sure if it's because my palate is different now than it used to be, but this feels
Well,
like it's not. Super
I mean,
boozy.
as your palate develops, you can still taste booziness. In fact, you should even be more sensitive to how boozy a beer
Okay.
will be. But one thing that I can say that our brewing team does really well is with all our beers is we shoot for balance, which means including the beers that are like the Jolly Russian, which is a 13.3% alcohol Russian Imperial Stout. Is that booziness is going to be folded into the flavor profile of the beer. So
Okay.
we don't want that heat or that burn to be apparent as you try it. Another thing that helps is this beer is about 8 or 9 months old right now, so it's had a little time to mellow. So
Okay.
a lot of big beers will be warmer when they are first released, and then will mellow over time. There's even some brewers that release beers that have best after dates. So you're not supposed to try it, and
Until after
not
that
supposed
date.
to, yeah. So it's definitely a beer that will the flavors will meld over time, but. This is a beer that it's a project that we're really happy with. As I said, a big Russian Imperial Stout aged in dark rum barrels. So that's where you get the
Rum.
There you go.
and
Pirates.
Really?
and the well, I mean, dark rum and
You're so pirates.
Yeah, right?
That's
That's where their name came from, I'm sure.
You're right.
Thank you.
You're 100% right.
It was
Shut
just
up,
cute. It
Marco.
was cute.
Oh,
It was cute. Sorry.
And yeah, this is we made it for the first time last year, and over the years we've brewed a lot of big stouts, and we've done some virgin oak aging, we've done some bourbon barrel aging, but we're really happy with the way the rum barrel aging turned out with this one, and I think it's something that we're gonna continue to do each fall, and this will be a great beer to vintage. So if you can get a bottle of it, you can save it year over year and try 1 year against the next.
Nice. It's super delicious.
Really, really good.
It would pair really nicely with like a nice savory steak or something like that. It would be really yummy with
It's
it.
really good.
And
Yeah.
it would, and you would need something that has a lot of flavor, a dish that's pretty assertive in flavor. Otherwise, it would be overwhelmed by the
Right.
beer. But yeah, some smoked meats would be really appropriate.
We
with
know
this.
Marco
brisket.
likes smoked meats because he keeps hitting on Todd. So that's right up his alley.
What are you trying to say?
No,
What's that word?
I wasn't trying to say. I think I said it.
She's
right?
been saying
Yeah.
it.
I said it out loud.
We're
a couple
friendly here
times.
in
Yeah.
Texas.
No, that's too friendly. Is what I'm saying. Like if you have to wash your hands after you're friendly, it's not good.
When my wife hears this, she's gonna
Yeah.
be like, "What? What happened?"
I feel like it's not as bad as if you're hitting on a guy. It's not as bad.
No, it's not.
Because he's not reciprocating.
But
I don't know if
the
you
thing
realize
is
that. But
that
he's like he's not
you're
into
making
you, but
it
you're
worse.
into
Like
him.
I'm just paying a gentlemanly compliment.
Was that a gentlemanly
And so
compliment?
I took it as a gentlemanly compliment.
Did
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because if I was you and I was a chick, I'd be like, oh shit, that guy's gonna stab me later in the parking lot.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
Marco,
I'm
This is
kidding.
gold. This is gold.
I
kidding.
didn't feel threatened by
Oh,
Marco
good.
until
Because
just
you're bigger than
now.
him. Oh,
Well, I
okay.
don't feel threatened until just now.
Now
So when
you
I'm
feel
walking
threatened
my
by
car, it's
yourself?
like, hey, I'm
Marco's
gonna go
like,
back
wait a
home,
minute,
but
I
need
was
to do
having those
something
weird
quick.
dark feelings, and now you've brought them up, and let's not explore that.
I
though.
don't know why you're not doing stand up. You should. Holy
No,
crap!
stand up is too much work.
Right?
It's
Yeah,
stressful.
I'm super
but I
lazy.
would go.
I'm super
I
duper
would
lazy.
go
Catherine, what are your ideas about airplane food?
Oh, this is good.
I don't take any airplane rides that they give me food other than peanuts because I'm super cheap. So I don't have any.
You probably do a chunk on that.
I'm probably good. Yeah. I think Marco likes
Salted
peanuts.
or
Honey roasted.
Honey
Marco
roast.
loves like huge nuts. I heard.
I like. There's a guy here in town. His name's. I'm gonna do another plug. His name's Kenny. He sells Kenny's nuts.
Kenny sells his fucking nuts everywhere.
It's awesome.
Right?
I
And,
like the lemon pepper.
Shout out to Kenny, but like that's
Jeez.
bold to name your business after your nuts.
I know.
Is crazy.
My wife was like, "Are you serious with this?" And she thought it was joking.
I've never had his nuts ever.
So good.
Are they?
Oh my gosh!
That doesn't
In your
surprise
mouth.
me. I bet they are.
So good.
Yeah, look at your face. Exactly.
You were so happy with that.
This
You're
is
love
why
that.
I just
You love
everything is
that.
vulgar with you.
Wait,
can't-
I think that was
I
you,
don't
Marco.
think that's-
No,
didn't
I was
bring
just
up
saying
the
I
nuts.
actually like. He has a beer mix.
I don't know what you're talking about. First of all, I'm a lady. Okay, let's start there.
Oh,
So,
we
I
went
don't-
with that card.
Obviously, it's you being vulgar, not me.
So wait. Okay.
I
Let's go
keep
back to
telling
the
you to
beer.
stop.
Let's
Oh.
go back to the beer. Marissa, Andres, let's.
What do you think of that
Please,
big
yeah.
beer?
Say something, 'cause I already.
What do you think of that big beer?
She doesn't want to say anything.
I
I know what she's gonna say.
I really like the coffee taste in the beer. I think it's really good. I mean, I've never really had a dark beer before.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, this is actually my first
Nice.
dark beer
Wow,
that I've had.
okay.
Wow, that's jumping
That's
into the deep
awesome.
end.
That
Yeah.
really is, yeah.
And it's actually really good. I've never had like a
Wow.
coffee beer or anything like that. I
Do
like
you like it?
Wow.
Like you would drink
Yeah.
it again,
it.
maybe?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, nice.
Definitely.
When you're talking about food,
Yeah, when you pair it, when it pairs really nicely with something, yeah, that helps a lot. I
Have
know that
ano-
when I first started drinking craft beer, these were the beers that like I didn't like. Now I love them, but at the beginning I was like, oh, it's too much. Oh, are you? Okay, so is
Well,
Marco. We learned.
Tequila over here.
I
Jeez.
know. She likes to party. Well, she's a musician, I guess. I don't know.
yeah, we party.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Well, they're musicians. They're
Yeah.
supposed to party
I
and
was
smoke
just really
pot.
super excited because I had Pinata Protest on for a whole episode, which was so awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they're way cooler than me.
Dude,
But
those guys
they-
are awesome.
They're awesome, but they're old like me, so like they don't really party. They got really drunk, and I was like, "Aren't you guys like rock stars? What do you?" Why are you so drunk right now? He was like, I'm kind of a lightweight. And I was like, obviously.
I'm the lightweight.
So what you don't know about Marisa and Andres, everybody, they went to Catholic private school.
Did you? Where did you go to school?
St. Anthony and Providence here in San Antonio.
I went to homecoming with a guy from St. Anthony's one time.
That was my secret.
Yeah, that's adorable. I like it.
So the sisters are going to call her up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get the ruler in a few minutes.
I like that.
They're gonna come over here.
It's awesome.
So I have another beer factoid question. Okay. And this is kind of nerdy. I don't know. Maybe
It's
I'm
good.
No,
That's
it's
why,
good.
That's why we're
Yeah.
here.
So do y'all do any kind of like renewable energy, reusable water?
Are we
at the brewery?
Do we attempt to be sustainable?
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Yes, absolutely. So
That's really cool, man. I love that kind of stuff.
We have a number of initiatives to that end. So, like Texas, Colorado is a place where water is a resource, and it's hard to find. So one of our initiatives is to have the least amount of water inputs as possible per unit of beer produced. So we are striving towards being like an industry leader in that. So I think the industry average is about 6 units of water per unit of beer produced. Right now, I believe we're at about 3.5.
Wow.
And so we do everything that we can to reduce our water usage to produce the beer. In addition to that, we've got a number of other sustainable initiatives, from the fact that a lot of our electricity is generated from wind. We also have a solar array on the top of our brewery. One thing that's great about Colorado is not only is the air cool much of the time, but it's also dry. So anytime the ambient temperature is under 48 degrees, our reefer units and our coolers shut off, and we just blow in cold air from the outside, which is something that can't be done in a lot of areas, even when it gets cold, because of the humidity in the air, which would compromise the cardboard boxes that the beer is in.
Right.
We have light tubes through our the ceiling of our brewery as well that actually are monitored. They amplify sunlight, and they will not allow the lights to come on in our brewery if it's over a certain amount of light coming in. So like you can't actually have lights being on and being wasteful.
Yeah.
So we last but not least, we have a zero landfill plant as well. So we divert all of our refuse to either recycling or compost. So
spent grain to the farmers. And
so actually we have a beer named after one of the farmer that takes all of our spent grain and all of our spent hops. It's a chocolate milk stout called Eugene, and Eugene is a farmer that it's a dairy farmer that's been coming to our brewery for about 20 years and taking all our spent hops and spent grain and incorporating it into the feed for his dairy cows. And so when we came out with a milk stout for the first time, we thought it would be appropriate to name it after him.
Yeah.
So we do as much as we can to that end. It's a big priority for us.
Very nice.
So awesome.
Awesome. So these beers were fucking delicious. Thank you so much.
They're very good.
For sharing
Thank
them
you.
with us.
And for the record, Catherine hasn't finished any of her beers.
I'm going to. Okay, don't. This takes
Sorry.
time.
Oh wait,
Okay.
wasn't I allowed to be on my soapbox on one beer education related
Yes.
issue?
Yeah, do you have one?
He has this, dude, encyclopedia.
Okay, real fast before we do that.
Oh, all
Okay,
right.
let's because
Sorry.
we just drank the
Russian.
Jolly Russian. Let's play the drunken Russian game real fast because these people are waiting, and I don't
All right, let's
want
do
them
it.
to like
And-
get pissed at me and like call customer service or whatever.
Customer service.
You know what I'm saying? Are you guys ready?
Are we-
So
are
I'm
we
super
judging them too?
excited. You and Todd are gonna judge
Okay.
their drunken pirate translation.
Yes.
Okay. So the game that we're gonna play is called the Drunken Pirate because we just drank a pirate beer.
Pirate themed beer.
That's what Todd says, but I don't believe him because I don't feel like a pirate now.
Go sailing across the sea.
Yes, they did. Don't question what you don't know. Okay, is all I'm saying. Let's give them each a mic. If we can. If you guys want to get real nice and close, I promise we're all wearing deodorant. Well, I don't know about this guy, but I am. I know Marco's not because he has like a sweat rag with him.
I sweat a lot.
Yeah, no, I know. I saw it.
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
You're killing me.
I'm teasing. I don't know what he uses it for. I have an idea after how much he's been flirting with Todd what he uses it for. Okay, you ready? This one, I know. I'm just teasing him. I actually really love Marco. I think he's like the nicest person ever, and so he's a real nice, like he's a good target. You know what I mean? Okay, so the name of this game is Drunken Pirate. I've given you each a famous beer quote. I'm sorry, baby. Does it not?
No,
is it not?
No, it's good. I'm waiting for them to go, and then
Okay, perfect.
Pull in.
I gave you each a quote, and what I had you translated into Drunken Pirate, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have you go first, good sir. Tell us your name. You gotta get on the mic.
My name is Ronnie.
Hi, Ronnie. Are you from San Antonio?
I am, yes, ma'am.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, so tell us your quote first in just regular English.
A woman is like beer. They look good, they smell good, and you'd step over your own mother just to get one.
Okay, now let's hear your pirate version. Are you ready? Are you paying attention?
Yar.
You just yarred at me.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw that. I mean, we'll talk about it later.
A beauty is like a grog. They look jolly, they smell jolly, and you'd step over your own mother just to get one.
Nice! Very nice. Impressive. Okay. Madam, your name?
I'm Kaylin.
But what? Kaylin?
Kaylin.
Okay. Beautiful hat, by the way. Beautiful. Are you from San Antonio?
Down by Corpus.
Corpus?
Kind of.
Ah, Selena. Selena forever. Okay, so first tell us your quote in just regular English.
Okay.
Get real nice and close to the mic for me.
I figured out an alternative to giving up my beer. Basically, we become a family of traveling acrobats.
Okay, are we ready for your pirate version?
Sure. Oi, matey. I figured out an alt to giving up me grog. We need to be a crew of flippin' acro-mateys.
Wait, did you guys Google this, right?
I didn't Google
like,
what you're talking about.
She must have gotten to a pirate translation.
But like, what the fuck is a grog?
That's awesome.
Okay.
A grog is something you drink. A grog is something you drink.
Oh, I did not know that.
You just got schooled, Catherine.
Well, I don't know everything, Marco.
It doesn't matter.
Okay. Your turn, Sweet Pea. Okay. What's your name?
Liz.
Liz, are you from San Antonio?
Yes.
Liz from San Antonio. Oh, Marco says hi. Look how excited he is for you.
I like his shirt a whole lot.
Oh, you can buy them from him. Yeah. Okay, so way to go. Now he's gonna make you buy something. So way to go. Okay, go ahead and tell us your quote.
Okay. All right, Brain. I don't like you, and you don't like me. So let's just do this, and I'll get back to killing you with beer.
Okay. Let's hear your drunken pirate version.
Avast me, Brain. I didn't go liking you, and ye haven't liked me. So let me get back to doing this, and I'll keep slaying you with beer. Say, matey?
Nice. Well done. I'm super impressed. I'm super duper impressed. Okay, so Marco and Todd, do you need a moment to discuss it? If I was you, I wouldn't get that close to him. Like, you know what I'm saying?
This is a tough one. I want to say that they went to like piratetranslation.com, and this is really good.
Yeah, we all know that you can just go to Google Translate and go from English to pirate.
For the record, Catherine has still not drank all her beers.
I feel like
is that a frat party, Marco?
I feel like acro-matey was the.
Well, grog. I also didn't know what a grog was, but
I mean, there's two of them put grog in there, but the acro-matey, that was the one that really sealed it for me.
I'm with Todd on this one.
Oh, which one was that?
Number 2.
Yeah.
Number 2? Number 2! Woo!
From Corpus.
You win
from the Bay.
2 passes to the Texas Beer Bus, which I'm going to grab for you right now. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Corpus Christi.
You guys please grab a koozie from the table for you, and you can have one as well. Let me grab your tickets real fast.
I'll throw in an O'Dell t-shirt, too.
Yeah! Woohoo!
Nice.
Wow. Look at how generous people are from Colorado. Drink their beer.
So super exciting. Chrissy Hobbins and Kevin Hobbins just walked in.
My favorite people.
My favorite craft beer power couple.
The power.
Recently on the last episode of She's Crafty podcast, 2 episodes ago,
which I listened
The
to.
Legend of the Wet Burrito.
Which I listened to,
Yeah.
and they're excellent.
Yeah, Chrissy.
I have to say that.
Chrissy doing the Humpty dance. The Humpty dance.
So something. Okay. So Todd, one of the things about the greatness of O'Dell and where you're from, Colorado, these fine folks are from the great state.
Oregon.
Yes. Oregon, Washington. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, again,
You're
craft
looking
beer
super hot
mecca.
today, by the way. I'm just letting you know. Good job.
Craft beer mecca and craft beer mecca.
Yeah.
Yes.
Super awesome.
Not at all. I just want to have a detente of mutual respect.
Have you guys met Todd before? Todd,
Yeah,
oh
this
my
is
gosh.
Todd from O'Dell.
This is Kevin Hobbins from Ranger Creek.
Yeah, we have.
And Chrissy Hobbins works for Branch Line.
And
Very nice.
can I say something about Kevin?
Yeah.
I have a man crush on Kevin.
That doesn't surprise me.
We're about to
We
get very
learned today that
personal.
he's got a man crush on a couple of people.
So sorry, Todd.
Yeah.
This was my first
no,
man
Kevin's
crush.
super awesome. Actually, Kevin was on my very first episode with Spurs Jesus.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Did you? Yeah. I know. You guys, what?
You were in
What?
a shower
what,
scene?
What? She was listening to it in the shower, is what she said. Don't be. Have you seen my shower chugging video?
No.
I chugged a beer in the shower one time, and I put it on video for this
I
podcast.
have to be very respectful around my. She's my boss, FYI.
Oh, that's right. He told me that he started working for Branch Line, and I was
She's
like,
my
"Oh wow,
boss.
they gave you a job."
I say I'm really her bitch.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, he is really polite. Except he hits on guys a lot. Which
That
is
was my
super
first
awkward.
curse word for the night, FYI. If you weren't counting.
You said bitch?
Yeah.
That was it? That's the one you used?
Yeah.
No, she was cussing like 15 seconds in. Yeah, she was like. Yeah. She accused me of hoeing up like 10 minutes into the. And I was like, I was sweaty in weird places. Yeah, I did hoe up.
Wow.
Okay, so Todd.
Yes.
I'm sorry. We went off on a tangent. It's Marco's fault, by the way. Tell us your beer education fact.
Oh,
sir.
all right. So my my beer fact, or the one thing that I would implore everybody to do, is to stop paying attention to IBUs.
Amen.
Really?
The IBU is worse than irrelevant. It's misleading.
IBU
IBU stands for International Bitterness Unit.
Wow.
It's a technical. It's a very technical spec of a beer that at some point became shorthand for people talking about how hoppy a beer can be.
Right.
But it does not tell you how hoppy a beer is, and it does not tell you how bitter it will taste. So it's a spec that I wish people would pay a lot less attention to.
I agree.
It's fine to know, but it's like the amount of time that people ask about it is crazy. I mean, like nobody asks about like what's the Play-Doh of the beer, and that's about the same amount of reason you would need to know it.
Okay.
So
I don't even know what that is.
So
it's gravity.
It's
It's another way of measuring gravity.
It has to do with the original gravity of a beer. But basically, the IBU measures the alpha and beta acid content of hops that are added early on in the boil. But it doesn't tell you anything about the aroma or post-boil hops. And it also doesn't take into account the way that the bitterness will be balanced by whatever the malt recipe of the beer is.
Okay.
So that's my one thing. IBU is not something you need to worry about, and it certainly doesn't tell you how hoppy a beer is.
Very nice. So
you know what?
I don't know
Todd,
what Marco's doing over here.
I'm sorry.
I was trying to like drown myself in Todd's eyes, and Marco was like,
see, so you too
laughing
see
over
it. You
here.
too see it. I knew it, Catherine. And for the record, again, beer check. Catherine still has not finished her
Dude, it's not
beers.
a frat party. Like, I don't. What do you want me to do?
Are you serious? A frat party?
I'm
This has
about-
been hours. We've been going on hours, and you're frat party. Come on, Todd. That I did not know that, but that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense because, okay, so honest truth is I've never heard somebody actually point that out, just make that statement. But
just say that IBUs are bullshit?
Because it's very true because so many people will try something and be like, oh, it's not that hoppy, or it's very hoppy, or it just depends on, who's drinking what at what time.
Okay, so we're going to wrap it up because we went over time just a smidgy pitch. Which is not fine.
This was so much fun.
Cares.
This is what happens when you have so much fun.
It was a really
here.
great show. Do you guys agree? Like,
yes.
It was really good.
Can Todd come back
had a great
as
time.
not an O'Dell rep, but just hanging out with Todd?
I will come back anytime I'm invited.
Yes.
I'll invite you every fucking day. You want to come to my house? We can go to my car right now.
She wants to make out with just about every co-host.
We were just told off mic that I should not be I should not feel special.
He's so politically correct.
I know.
Like, I love it the whole show.
It makes him a little hotter. Yeah. Okay. So tell us, Todd, where we can find O'Dell online if people want to follow and find the beer.
Yeah, absolutely. So O'dellBrewing.com, Facebook /O'Dell Brewing, Instagram /O'Dell Brewing, Twitter /O'Dell Brewing, and if you want to follow me on Twitter, I am OBC Texas.
Ladies, you want to follow him. Just so you know. Just
Ladies,
everybody.
I'm following him.
And if Marco's doing it, obviously doesn't have the high standards.
He already added him, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure he did. Okay, Marco, if people want to find Brewed in the 210,
yes.
Where can they go?
Brewed in the 210, we are also on all aspects of social media. We're on Facebook. I have Brewed in 210 page. We're going to be updating the site frequently with our info on the screenings, and then you can find us on Instagram at Brewed in 210 and also on Twitter, Brewed in 210. And if you want to follow me, which I'm not very entertaining, you can follow me on Twitter as Marco Ortega or Facebook Marco
And I'm
Ortega,
sure you'll find Marco on the Choose Crafty podcast in the near future.
And FYI, I'm
and
not...
Branch Line Brewing.
Yes, and then also Branch Line Brewing, we do a lot of cool tastings, and definitely come out. It's one of my favorite breweries, and I'm not just saying that because I work there, but it was one of my favorite breweries.
The Branch Line people happen to be
Yes.
some of my favorite people. I don't know if that matters.
Yeah.
But I love all of them.
Yeah.
They live in my heart.
Great people.
Yeah.
The
good
Hobbinses.
people. The Hobbins and Paul and
The
Jason
Hobbinses.
and Derek. All great people. Okay, Marisa, do you have any upcoming gigs or anything that you want to plug real fast?
We have some in July. We'll be playing at the Hilton, Palacio del Rio, downtown.
Very
so
nice.
you can be tourists and come down and hear us play in the bar.
Nice. Very nice.
Really
I'm following them now.
Okay.
Yes.
I know secrets.
So enthusiastic. What song are you going to play us out with?
We're going to play you X's and O's because it's one of my favorites.
X's and O's.
Yeah, are you going to sing it with me?
Do you see that? No, I'm not.
Wow. She's wasted. Not really.
No, I'm not drunk.
She still has not finished her beer, and we're at the end of the show.
Oh, real fast, though, before we stop. Okay. You're not caught up on Game of Thrones yet, right? Game of Thrones, you guys are not caught up.
She's read all the books.
I know, but she's not watched.
Do you see that?
It's
in that
different
note?
now.
The shows are ahead of the books.
Yeah, they're ahead of the books now. Okay. Have you, Marco? Are you?
Yes, I
you're
am.
caught up?
FYI, I
Do
listen
you
to
watch
your
Game of Thrones?
podcast.
Yeah, I watch
oh
Game
my
of
God,
Thrones.
I'm gonna make out with you in 5 seconds. Okay, can we just for 1 second talk about how Jon Snow died? He came back to life, and then he was like, you know what? I think I want to retire now. Like I think I'm done.
It's like the WWE where the underdog always comes back and beats the shit out of the other.
But he doesn't want to. Like he died, he came back, and now he's like, I think I want to open up a restaurant.
That's what makes him so noble. Yes, he doesn't want to fight. He only fights when he's backed into a corner.
Yeah, I feel like now he wants to retire though. No, I know he's going to, but he took his coat off and he was like, you know what? I'm gonna get laid now.
I like having sex, so I'm gonna take my.
He took the coat off so he can now be a free agent.
Right.
And he can go claim the Iron Throne.
Okay, that's smart. Okay, that's probably true. All right, whatever.
Hey,
Whatever.
FYI,
Yeah.
I just want to, again, I listen to this podcast.
Right, I hope so.
And so
I hope somebody does.
Catherine is in love with Jon Snow.
Oh yeah, like I totally want to be your hoe, Jon Snow.
Yeah.
I wrote a song about it. It goes like this: I want to be your hoe, Jon Snow. That's how it goes. That's not the whole thing, but it's.
You're working on it. It's a work in
It
progress.
gets better, yeah.
And she
Tell
said,
me when you finish it.
Okay,
I'll buy it.
it's to Frozen,
I'll buy
the
it on
Frozen
iTunes.
theme song, because it makes sense, right? Because it's Jon Snow.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
But you were all about, like, you want them in the cave.
Oh, on the floor, on the wall. I'll do them anywhere. I don't care.
In the snow.
In the snow. He hasn't showered in like fucking 10,000 years. I don't give two shits.
See, I
Yeah,
listen to the
Castle
podcast.
Black must just smell
Like horrible.
ripe.
It
Just
smells
ripe.
horrible. Yeah. I don't care. I don't care. If there's enough ale, I'm
like
down.
they're so damn snobby about those wildlings, but Christ,
know.
I mean they.
They're like, come on, you guys look like shit.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. Okay, awesome. Marisa, are you ready to play us out?
I'm ready.
Get it, girl.
All right.
Let's go.
Oh my God.
Well, I had me a boy, turned him into a man. Showed him all the things that he didn't understand. Oh. And then I let him go. Now there's one in California who's been cursing my name, 'cause I found me a better lover in the UK. And then I made my getaway. 1, 2, 3, they're gonna run back to me, 'cause I'm the best baby that they never gotta keep. 1, 2, 3, they're gonna run back to me. They always wanna come, but they never wanna leave. My exes and the O's, they on me like goals, they on me to make them all. They won't let go. X's and O's. Well, I had me a summer love in New Orleans, left him warm in the winter, left him frozen in the spring. My mind, how the seasons go by. And I love to get high and I love to get low, so the hearts keep breaking and the heads just roll away. That's how the story goes. 1, 2, 3, they're gonna run back to me, 'cause I'm the best baby that they never gotta keep. 1, 2, 3, they're gonna run back to me. They always wanna come, but they never wanna leave. My exes and the O's, they hum me like goals, they on me to make them all. They won't let go. X's and O's. One, two, three, they're gonna run back to me. Climbing over mountains and they're sailing overseas. 1, 2, 3, they're gonna run back to me. They always wanna come, but they never wanna leave. My exes and the O's, they on me like goals, they on me to make them all. They won't let go. X's and O's.
Very nice. Thank you so much, Hoppy Monk. If you're happy and you know it, drink a beer. Thank you so much. That's it for another episode. I hope you have fucking enjoyed it. Do me a favor, go to Twitter and Instagram and follow us at She's Crafty Pod. Go to our Facebook page, She's Crafty Podcast, and like that shit. Be sure to follow us there. Also, if you like funny blogs and you want to catch up on all your favorite She's Crafty episodes and you want to buy some fucking awesome and hilarious craft beer merchandise, go to our website, shescraftypodcast.com. Peace out, beer nuts.